Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Some of you have gone to the website and realized, wait a minute, I don't have the current show up. That's because Spreaker doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They haven't figured out the problem. Let's put it that way. So I'm sure they know what they're doing. They just haven't figured out the problem. I have an embed on the site to where when I record these podcasts or go live, it should automatically go, when I'm done, should automatically go to the website. It doesn't. I have to manually put the show in the player. Okay, so there is something wrong on the Spreaker side of things. So if anybody out there can tell me what the hell is going on, that would be great, because I want you guys to hear the recent shows and most recent shows. But I also have other platforms that I use it on, so, or that I, go to. So you can hear this show on various platforms, such as iTunes, such as Google Play. Is it Google Play Music? Yeah, I'm on that too. Also Mixcloud, I'm on that. I'm just all over the place. So until Spreaker, figures out that they got a bolt in the gear somewhere, that they, that they can't get their, act together and do what's right, then, I'm going to have to manually put all my shows onto the site. So anyway, because the embed should automatically, it's there, right? The embed is there. So once I'm done with the show, it should automatically be on the website. It's not. So they've got some coding problem going on with, their system. So I'm sure they know what they're doing. They just haven't figured it out yet. So anyway, that's why you haven't seen some of my recent shows up there. Saturday I put the show up there manually. So it should be there. So anyway. Just within the last 72 hours, we've had a lot of entertainers pass away. Okay. Excuse me. My goodness. That was my lunch. Sorry. And, I, just in November alone, holy crap. We've had a lot of people die, a lot of celebrities die in 2017. Okay. Recently, just yesterday, this is the 20th of November 2017, just yesterday on the 19th of November, Della Reese, singer, actress, she Touched by an Angel, remember that show? She was on that show. She passed away at the age of 86. We had a lot. Just a lot of entertainers and sports people, such as Jana Novotná, who was a Wimbledon, there we go, if I can say it right, Wimbledon champion, who died at the age of 49 yesterday of cancer. Earl Hyman, the actor that played the grandfather on the Cosby Show, the Huxtable grandparent, he died at 91 on the 17th of November. Azadina Elaya, a Tunisian-born fashion designer, King of Kling, as he was known as. He was 77. He died on the 18th. Of course, Malcolm Young, co-founder of AC/DC, passed away at the age of 64 from a 3-year battle with dementia. As his brother, quote, It is hard to express in words what he has meant to me during my life. The bond we had was unique and very special, unquote, his brother and bandmate Angus Young. He leaves behind an enormous legacy that will live on forever. Malcolm, job well done. Of course, lots of people passing away. Robert Guillaume Benson, remember him? He passed away. He was 89. He made history in being the first black actor to play the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. And that was just when I heard he passed away, what? No. Of course, rock and roller Fats Domino died October 24th at the age of 89. Just so many people. Of course, rocker Tom Petty was 66. Hugh Hefner, Playboy founder, age 89. Chuck Lowe, the Goodfellas actor. He was the one that played the guy with the wig and, all that. Remember that? He was 89. Of course, Harry Dean Stanton, Twin Peaks and Big Love actor, died at the age of 91. Of course, Frank Vincent, Sopranos actor, died at the age of 78. He died in September of this year. Just Troy Gentry, Montgomery Gentry, Troy Gentry died in a tragic helicopter crash in September. Walter Beck, anybody remember Steely Dan? He was a co-founder of Steely Dan. He passed away in September. Richard Anderson, remember him? Remember $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman? Yeah, he died in August. He was 91. Of course, Jay Thomas, comedian who was, in Cheers, Murphy Brown, Mork and Mindy, he was 69. Of course, the one and only Jerry Lewis, he died this year in August. Glenn Campbell, John Hurd, just a lot of people. Sam Shepard, playwright and actor, he died with a long battle of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. He was 73. He died in July. June Foray. You don't know the name, but you know a lot of the characters that she voiced, from Rocky the Flying Squirrel, or Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, Granny and Witch Hazel in Looney Tunes, and Aunt May in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Those are all cartoons that she voiced. And she was also, if I'm correct, she was Wilma Flintstone. Wilma Flintstone, yes. Of course, Barbara Sinatra, the famed philanthropist and widow of singer Frank Sinatra, died in July at the age of 90. Just a whole bunch of people, such as Martin Landau. He died in July at the age of 89. Just a whole lot of people. And of course, the one and only, the ever debonair and wonderful actor and voice actor who played Mayor Adam West on Family Guy. Adam West, of course, died in June at the age of 88. Batman, remember him? Glenn Headley, who was a nominated actor, passed away at the age of 62 on June 8th. She was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. And she was in the middle of filming her upcoming Hulu series, Future Man. And, of course, just so many people. So many people. Remember Ghostbusters 2? Remember Oscar, the baby? Yeah, the actor that played him, Hank Duchendorf passed away at the age of 29. And just so many artists, so many actors. Stephen Furst, Animal House actor. He was also, I believe, on Babylon 5. Just so many people. And I don't mean to start off on a downer, but I mean, so many people have... You look at life, you look at how much these people contributed to life and how much they helped you enjoy life. It's just amazing. Butch Trucks and Greg Allman Trucks, who co-founded Allman Brothers, died in West Palm Beach, Florida at the age of 69 in January of this year. And it was ruled a suicide. His bandmate, Greg Allman, died a few months later in May. According to a statement on his website, Cher's ex-husband passed away peacefully at his Savannah, Georgia home at the age of 69. So all these people that have passed away, all these people, entertainment and television and music and all these people, they brought such happiness to our lives. And they gave us so much. And they, how many times have you been riding down the road listening to the Allman Brothers? How many times have you been at a friend's house at a party listening to Tom Petty? How many movies have you seen Jerry Lewis in? How many, episodes of, Bionic Woman and the $6 Million Man did you watch when you were a kid? They brought so much to our lives. And, of course, AC/DC, Malcolm Young, passing away. How many times did we sing along with Back in Black and, all that? So it just literally, my point is that these people brought something to life, brought an idea, brought a concept, brought all of this. But out of that, we remember these things. We hold these things within ourselves. And we say thank you to each and every one of them because it brought happiness. It brought some kind of joy and excitement to our lives. So don't think of it as losing someone. Think of it as giving you the memories to live on. And I say that, and here's the upside to all of this. I know there's an upside to death. Yeah. Go check out the Facebook page, The Order of the Good Death. And there's a lot of things that you need to look at. But the upside to that is when you find yourself in a position or in a part of your life that you want to do something and you're stuck in a rut somewhere. You're stuck at a job. You think, well, I'm going to stay here for the rest of my life and I'm going to retire and die. And all that kind of thing, right? You got that mindset because you think, well, I got to work. I got to do this. Or you're on some sort of, you're on Social Security disability or something, like that, right? So you find these things in your life. You understand that you're tethered to something else, but you want to make your life greater, and you look at rock stars and entertainers and actors and all of this, and you see this, and you're going, man, that, they seem to be having a good life. Not really, when you really examine their lives. But the good thing is that you can look at it and say, you know what? They brought joy to my life. They brought joy to my life. They brought something to me that I needed at that point in time. And from that moment, I just kept going from that. So when you look at everything around you, when you examine everything around you, when you look at the politics of stuff, when you look at the how things are built, how things are, how people function, when you look at all of this stuff, you have to realize that there's something that is tethered to that. And that's one of the reasons why it's not getting out to the general public in a positive way. This is what I wanted to talk about today, is that you can see all the news and everything going on in the world, you can see the death and destruction and, hatred and the prejudice and the racism and all that. You can see all that. But you have to understand it's tied to, secured to something else that is not allowing it to break free of that and to break free of its own limitations to make life better for other people. You got to get rid of folks, you live in a house probably and you see dust on your table. How do you get the dust off? You spray the stuff on your rag, you go over it and boom, you got the dust off. There you go. You got all these things that are out there that are negative, that are debilitating to the economy and all this. It's tethered and tied and secured to something else. Once you break that, and once that gets away from all of those limitations, it can then, push off all the dust of itself and find positive ways of rebuilding itself and making life better. There's no doubt in my mind that everything that is going on in our world today is tethered and tied and secured to something else. And I know what it is. It's tied to and I want to use this word loosely because there is a reason for it. It is tied to a diabolical philosophy that really holds itself within itself and does not give itself room to kick the dust off and grow in a positive way. And that itself is also tied to a bigger anchor. Okay? We call that the deep state. That's the bigger anchor when you look at the whole picture. That's the deep state. And what Washington, D.C. is doing, and the military-industrial complex and the intelligence organizations all over the place, they've done everything they were told by the deep state to instill in the general public of America fear, intimidate them through different policies and all of this. They're the anchor. They're the anchor, and we need to cut it off, and we need to get rid of it. Because all it's bringing is death and destruction to the United States of America on a larger scope, looking at the bigger picture. But not only that, it's affecting Canada and it's affecting Mexico. Okay? So you're looking at the bigger picture. Little things, the deaths of celebrities, that's one thing. The economy getting worse and worse every day, or even better every day, depending. That's also part of life. That's also part of the bigger picture. When you look at a painting on a wall of a farmhouse, you look around and you see the cows, you see the chickens, you see the house, you see somebody upstairs, you see dad on the front porch. This is a painting that someone did. I'm using that as a metaphor. You see all this other stuff. It's the bigger picture. But when you look at your own life and you ask yourself, where am I? What am I doing? Why am I in this position? You have to understand that about the bigger picture, that the anchor that is holding the other elites in Washington, D.C. to itself, that's causing the members of Congress and other people that are related to them to not be able to kick the dust off and make America great again. Okay? All these other things are part of life. All these other things, look at the bigger picture, the painting I talked about. You look and you see the cows, you see dad on the front porch, you see mom hanging up, it's what it is. It's real life. This is what it is. I mean, we have a distinctive view of Washington, D.C., but what we don't understand is that they are owned and operated by the deep state. They're controlled, just like they are controlling everything, and Washington, D.C. is controlled just like all the news media, all that. I mean, it's devastating. It really is, and makes you want to just scream, and just makes you want to, but let's not do that. Let's find a way to cut the anchor. Let's find a way, and this is true not only in the United States of America, this is true in other countries as well. We need to find a way to cut the anchor. Okay? We need a way to find that way to get rid of the deep state. Now, you're probably wondering, well, we're just people here. We don't have a whole lot of stuff. We don't have a whole lot of resources. We don't, they got all the technology. Yeah, but in the United States, statistics have shown that 80% or more of law enforcement and military will back the people if something happens. So that's a good sign, and that's that's a good sign. And we need to understand that we ourselves, we the people, need to do more ourselves to identify who and what that anchor truly is. Name names, pull documents, whatever it is you need to do. Find out who these people are and cut them off. I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, a lot of people would say, again, they have the technology, they can find us and whatever. 3% of the population of the United States of America in 1774, 1775 fought against the British Army. 3%, count them, 3% of the American population, the British colonies of America of that time fought against the British Army and won. There's a hell of a lot more people now in the United States of America, and the deep state has absolutely no control over me or anyone else in the independent media. And we know and we have the resources to cut them off. We need to cut them off. We need to cut off the deep state, which is the anchor, cut off their minions and their, that property of Washington, D.C., and the only way that you're ever going to do that is, well, after you cut off the anchor, you need to repeal the Act of 1871 and get rid of Washington, D.C. Then you need to repeal the Federal Reserve Act and the Internal Revenue Act and get rid of that. And then the states are going to be able to handle themselves and do what they need to grow. And there's states that are no longer, I'm going to say, there's states that are no longer, as far as my perspective is, they're no longer part of the United States. That would be California and New York State. Illinois is cruising about, they're very close to being cut off as far as I'm concerned. And what do? We find a way to cut the anchor. That's what we do. Once we do that, it's going to take a few years, but things are going to get better and better as they go along. I mean, examine the deep state. Who is the deep state? Examine them. Who are they? What are they? We need to find out who specifically they are. You know who their minion is? Or who their minions are? Well, not only Washington, D.C., but their minions are the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, George Soros and his group, and all of that. We need to cut the anchor. That's all we need to do. Because we don't want to live in a society where death is prevalent and can come at any time. We want to live out our lives in a very, very good way. We want to wind up when we're 90 or 95 going, I had a good life. It's time for me to go. Instead of being at the beck and call of these deep state operatives, you know what I mean? So it's, and that's what Hollywood is. It's the cesspool in the cellar of the deep state. Now, thankfully, somebody blew the whistle, and all these people are starting to come out and talk about their sexual predators, these certain actors, and, sexual assaults going on for years and years and years. And now it's now exploding in their face, and they hate it. And once they get rid of that area of intimidation, which is intimidate them through sexual, what is that? Sexual blackmail, whatever it is. That's what they do in Los Angeles and Hollywood specifically. Once you get rid of that and get rid of those people, you'll have a Hollywood you can be proud of. But there's a bigger problem. Again, the anchor of that state is the deep state operative governor dictator Jerry Brown. You need to get rid of him. There you go. There's your solution right there, California. Okay, I was born and raised in Stockton, California. I know California. I know the politics in California. I know people that I've talked through over the years that just literally know the inside scoop of Sacramento, California. And also, I won't give away anything when I say this, but I know a lot more of what's going in Hollywood than a lot of people might imagine. You can see it on the surface. It's now coming out. It's now exploding up in people's faces. And that's basically part of it. But there's other things going on too as well. So it's going to come to light. I don't have to tell you. It's going to come pouring out of the wounds of Los Angeles and Hollywood. And if it doesn't, I'll go ahead and tell you what else is going on down there. Just so many things are going on today, folks. 20th of November, 2017. And it is, I think, one of the things that people, ignore. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could have overlooked something. And I think that people ignore not only the obvious, but they ignore the effects that what the deep state does on people. They ignore that. Your friends and family might be laughing and saying, yeah, I enjoy life and all that. But no, something is going on. And I'm not going to say any more than that. So you guys can speculate all you want. I know a few things that I haven't shared yet, and if something doesn't change within the next 6 months, or I should even say as little as, at least by the end of January, if something doesn't change and things continue on the way they are in Hollywood and LA and all of that, then yes, I will say something. But as of right now, I'll just let you guess. But it's all coming out. You see the sexual predators being revealed. You see the people that have committed sexual assaults. That's all being revealed. Now you're going to see something else coming out next week. I'm just going to leave it at that. Next week to a week and a half. You're just going to... I'll just leave it at that. In the meantime, folks, I'm going to go to break. Don't go away. I shall be back in less than 2 minutes. Just hang on. Talk to you in a bit. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com.
Without all the BS. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I am wondering, why are you here? True or do not, there is no crime. True, there is no crime. True or do not, there is no crime. I am wondering, why are you here?
The Spencer Hughes Podcast. Mainstream propaganda media is failing miserably. Spencer Hughes tells you why. Join now and tune in for the most unbiased views you will ever hear. The Spencer Hughes Podcast. The best host on the West Coast. For more information, go to spencerhughes.net.
Hey, folks, welcome back. 20th of November, 2017. This is the American Liberty Radio Podcast right here on American Liberty Radio Network. Yes, we're here. I didn't do one this morning. I had some things to do this morning, so that's why the podcast is late today. My apologies. FCC to free internet from Obama's net neutrality rules. Soros's pro-censorship coalition floods FCC with, quote, bot-generated, unquote, campaign to keep Obama net neutral or net neutrality rules. This Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, FCC Chairman Ajit V. Pai is expected to circulate to his fellow commissioners and make public a draft of a new FCC order widely anticipated to eliminate the net neutrality rules put in place under the Obama administration. The full commission is scheduled to vote on Pai's draft order at its December 14th meeting, and again, the FCC is expected on that date to ratify Pai's draft order. By making the order to repeal net neutrality public in advance of the vote, Chairman Pai has instituted a new transparency initiative at the FCC that reverses the policy of the previous chairman, Obama administration FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler, who typically refused to make draft orders public prior to the full FCC Commission final vote. Left floods FCC with fake comments. What is clear from an examination of the public comments from the political left supporting the retention of the Obama net neutrality rules have flooded the FCC comment space with bot-generated, often foreign-sourced comments that have generated unrelated, racist, and even violent remarks in high volume. A study by Washington, D.C. information specialist Imprata demonstrated that more than 7.5 million comments opposing the repeal of net neutrality rules, the largest percentage of comments on any FCC topic, fully 36% of all FCC comments, quote, appear to have been generated by self-described, unquote, and quote-unquote disposable email domains attributed to fakemailgenerator.com and with nearly identical language. Adjusting the 13 million total comments who oppose repealing net neutrality rules for bot-generated fake comments, Imprata found the legitimate comments supporting Pai's move to repeal net neutrality beat the legitimate comments wanting to keep the Obama-era rules by 61%. In other words, the people that want to abolish net neutrality is 61%. Favoring the repeal, the 61% of the people favoring the repeal of the Title II Internet governance versus 38% wanting to maintain net neutrality rules that would retain Title II governance of the Internet as a telecommunications utility. Yeah, so there you go. This is going up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Yay, we have free Internet. Well, not free in the terms of, you're not paying for anything. You've got, it's not going to be censored in any way, well, except for Facebook. But we all know this. We all know this. It is what it is, and I'm not going to I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, if net neutrality worked, it would have worked quite a while ago, but it does not work. Never has, never will. And we are, I mean, you've heard it said before that the internet, the social media, those outlets are our last bastion of freedom of speech. You know, take what you post on Facebook or Twitter or Google Plus, you go out in the streets and you start saying all that stuff out there, chances are you're going to get your ass kicked. You know, chances are you're going to have a cop throw you against the wall and frisk you. You see what I mean? That's the difference. Because other countries have already said the United States of America is a police state, and I believe it. But then again, you have common sense in some police officers, and you have certain logic that plays through the departments, and they know damn well that if they rough you up for any reason, we can sue them into oblivion. So there's that to deal with. Fear, intimidation from the public to law enforcement? No. That would be the beginnings of terrorism. We don't want that. No, but literally, there are more good cops than there are bad cops. And they know if we're out on the corner with a sign protesting something, they can just drive by. They know it because we have free speech. We can do whatever we want in terms that it doesn't hurt anyone else. That's just the way it is. And I remember years ago when I was a youngin', I was in junior high, and I told my history teacher at the time, or my sociology teacher, one of them, I think it was my history teacher, I said, yeah, we have First Amendment right to say whatever we want. And she looked at me and said, unless it hurts someone else. So PC was running very rampant back in the 70s as well. You know, you just can't say anything. You gotta, if you offend someone, blah, 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 now you're offending everybody. You're not offended, you're triggered. That's the new PC word. So you get triggered over everything. Oh my God! He said triggered. I'm triggered because he said triggered. The only trigger I know is Roy Rogers' horse, okay? Or Willie Nelson's guitar. I mean, that's it, Just shut the hell up, get thicker skin, stop being so damn offended by everything, and just learn why you are the way you are. And stop being such a pussy. We had, I spoke about in the first segment in the beginning of the podcast about celebrities dying and everything. Apparently, and it's true now, it's true that Charles Manson has passed away. I kept trying to think, is this true? And then I kept seeing posts, no, he's still alive, he's hanging on, No, he's dead, okay? Just want to put it to you, though. He's dead. So thank goodness for that one, right? When you really think about people like him, I would put him in the same type of category as not only, Dahmer or Bundy or any number of those people, but I would also put him in the category of Mussolini and Hitler, because he was just completely insane. There was no rehabbing this person. He went before parole boards every time he came up for parole, and he goes, don't let me out, because I'll do the same thing. He told them, I'll just stay in here. Don't let me out. I'll just do the same thing. And it's like, there's no excuse for people like that either. When they're that far gone, if you will, there's no helping them. There's no helping them at all, So there's no rehab for that. Charles Manson, the eco-warrior who wanted to kill humans to save the earth, notorious cult leader, wanted to wipe out 50 million to stop the polar ice caps melting. That's insane. Because I read the headline, I'll put it up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. That's just freaking insane. I mean, seriously. You can't make this stuff up, folks. This guy was completely out of his freaking mind. He was a frustrated songwriter and singer, and he made an album and all that, but he got disenchanted with people and with the system, and he just says, screw you. And what he did was a big F-U to the world. And he actually, in the 60s, was it Bugosi or something? I don't know. That wrote the book about his, about what he did. I mean, you can see it. And there's a picture right there. When you go to the link on American Liberty Radio Podcast, I put the link up there. You can just look at his eyes. This guy's just totally gone. There's no helping this person at all. Okay? So, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, you guys draw your own conclusion. I know because I grew up in that era. I was 7 years old, folks, when Charles Manson sent out his followers to go terrorize and murdered Sharon Tate, wife of director Roman Polanski, and a few other, and the Folgers error killed her too. And so I remember that well. I was 7 years old. Even then, I was asking my mom, "Is this guy crazy?" And obviously he was. So this next one is a video that I'm going to put up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. And it is, as soon as there it goes, must hear Google's plan to censor the entire earth. The tech elites are gaining more power every day. I talked about the anchor, cutting off the anchor. That's one of them we need to cut off right there. The secretive, opaque censorship being employed by Google and the other tech giants is just a piece of the puzzle, a link in the chain with which the elites will enslave humanity. Period. It's up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Where do you go from there, folks? It's a video, so you're going to watch the video. There's another video. Antifa college instructor attacks conservative students. Anti-Trump communist teacher arrested for assaulting students on campus. Good. Throw his ass in jail. I'm going to read something that I posted on my page, on my Wayne S. Pierce Facebook page. That would be me. Let me read this to you. And I, in 2014, I said I'm not pulling any punches, and I'm not going to. I refuse to bow down to the parishioners of the Church of Political Correctness. They can kiss my ass. I have never been politically correct. I will never be politically correct. Here's another one I'm going to share before I get to what I was going to say. And that is, let me post it for you. Jeff Bezos, Amazon.com, and Deep State unite. Amazon launches cloud service for CIA. Okay. And also I'm going to share this from theroot.com. Let me share it and I'll tell you what it is. This can't be good. Genealogy companies say they're willing to give law enforcement your DNA. Really? Seriously? And also it's back in the fringes of the news, or now it's now in the mainstream. FoxNews.com is reporting Apollo moon landing was faked. Conspiracy theorists claim with new photo. I said, either definitively and accurately prove it without propaganda and the lies of the government, or shut up about it all. Did we go to the moon? I was a kid and watched the moon landing on television. That's what I know. Either expose these stupid people posing as conspiracy theorists that claim these things or shut up about the whole thing. That's one of the things. Of course, I'm going to share this other thing as well, and I'll tell you what it is here in just a second. Transhumanism and the future of humanity. 7 ways the world will change by 2030. I don't know. I'm going to say this to you. I'll put this up on American Liberty Radio Podcast, but it's on my personal Facebook page at Wayne S. Pierce, and you can scroll down and look for it. But I will put this on the American Liberty Radio Podcast page. It's time we ban and abolish any and all political parties that are against the principles of peace, freedom, liberty, and security of the United States of America. It's okay if you disagree with those principles, but to actively engage in subversion to undermine the basic philosophies we live by? No. You'll be met with the immovable force of we the people. Pack your crap and leave, and take the Soros-funded Black Lives Matter and the CIA-funded and controlled ISIS with you. That's one of the things. Now, I talked about people being triggered and being offended and all of that. Well, you can either grow thicker skin or shut the hell up. I just shared a video here from PragerU. PragerU added a new video. Trigger warning, the facts presented in our video may offend you, especially if you are in high school or college. So check that out. I'm just, I don't know what else to say, folks. I honestly do not know how I can get any more honest and truthful and factual with you other than what I'm doing. I'm sharing you information, giving you my opinion about it. And going from there. And I just ask that you research it on your own and draw your own conclusion on it. Alex Jones unpacks the creeping AI developments that are racing toward an endgame singularity that will render humanity prisoners under the boot of the New World Order. Oppressive technology that has been predicted for decades is finally arriving. AI is the boot stamping on a human face forever. That's what it is, folks. I mean, when you look at AI, when you look at artificial intelligence, when you look at the technology that goes on behind it and what these people truly want, it'd scare the hell out of you. Okay? I don't know what else to... I don't know how else to tell you. Okay? I don't know. I honestly do not know. And even with AI, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of programming in there that is going to censor conservative talk or people like myself or Brian Lang or Nick Tucker or Alex Jones or anybody. And here's this. RT is reporting Google will de-rank RT articles to make them harder to find. Eric Schmidt, who is the CEO of Google, who's been to the Bilderberg meetings over the last few years, Schmidt, a part of the Clinton camp. Yeah, Hillary Clinton went to a Bilderberg meeting back, quite some time ago, and she wasn't supposed to. Eric Schmidt, the executive chairman of Google's parent company, Alphabet, says the company will engineer specific algorithms for RT and Sputnik to make their articles less prominent on the search engine's news delivery service. That right there is censorship. RT has criticized the proposed move, whose timescale has not been publicized, as arbitrary and a form of censorship. Yes, it is. They don't care, folks. You can get up in their face and pound your fist onto their desks, and you can yell at them and everything else and tell them to stop. They're not going to stop. They're going to do it anyway because they don't want the truth to get out. They don't. And that's just the way it is. All the articles I talked about today are up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. They don't want the truth to get out. Why would they? Why would they want the truth to get out? They don't want you and I knowing what they do behind the scenes. It just goes to show you how many... Well, on one side, it shows you how many people have been indoctrinated with the propaganda from Google, who basically was funded by the financial arm of the CIA, In-Q-Tel. And it just shows that how all people who support these groups and these companies have been indoctrinated with totalitarian propaganda. I mean, if you can't see it, I mean, it's obvious, but if you can't see it, you're truly blind intellectually. Okay? Had to take some water there, folks. I'm trying to build a network here. And if Google's going to delist or censor any of the SEOs that I use under their, algorithms, and my shows are not promoted that much on the Google search engine, then I'm going to go to startpage.com, okay, and just use that one. You know what I mean? It's like, you can find it. Let me show you really quick. You can do this yourself. Go to startpage.com. Startpage.com. Okay, and as soon as the computer decides that, yes, I'll go to that website, go to startpage.com and punch in American Liberty Radio Network, and you'll find it. Now, I don't know why the startpage.com is not coming up, but yeah, so let me close out that tab and bring up startpage.com again. Every once in a while, the browser decides it wants to burp. Yeah, it's not coming up. So there we go. So you can go anywhere. Let's go to, I don't use this that much, and if I can type and be able to get the right website in my browser, I'll tell you. Lycos.com. Remember that? Lycos.com? That was the days of web crawler and all those. Remember those? Yeah. So, yeah. Let me, excuse me. And let me put into that search engine, American Liberty Radio Network. There it is. It'll say, yeah, here it is. American Liberty Radio Network. I'm about the 6th entry down. And from there, it's AmericanLibertyRadioNetwork.weebly.com. It's got the website, got Mixcloud, got Blog Talk Radio, got ConnectPal, got PlusGoogle.com. Yeah, so I'm on there, folks. It's easy to find me. All you got to do is go search. You know what I mean? So let me try this one more time. Start page, there we go, startpage.com. You can do this on your own. American Liberty Radio Network. Let me see where I am on there. And of course, yeah, American Liberty Radio, there's American Liberty Radio, which is on there as well. There's Liberty News Radio. There's Talk America Radio. I'm nowhere on that list, but if you go to lycos.com, I'm the 6th one down. So, yeah, I'm nowhere near on this list. Okay. I'm looking, folks. I'm nowhere near on this list. By the way, startpage.com, let me go back to the front of it and tell you, it's enhanced by Google, and it says here when I do the pull-down menu, your searches are private here. When you search with Start Page, we remove all identifying information from your query and submit it anonymously to any external source we query. We get the results and return them to you in total privacy. Your IP address is never recorded, your visit is not logged, and no tracking cookies are placed on your browser. So I'm not on that one. So I mentioned it before. I'm just going to try something here. It's still around, webcrawler.com. I mean, it's I just want to know where, if I'm here. I'm not even, there it is. American Liberty Radio Network, Mixcloud, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. That was the old site that I had. It's now the backup site, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Yeah, it's on there, so you'll find me. Do a Google search, I'm sure. I know that people listen to this show from all over the world, so I want to thank you for listening. And if there's anything that you can do to help out, share the show, whatever it is you do, thank you. I do appreciate that very much. For the folks in Canada or in America, in the United States, if you want to contribute to American Liberty Radio Network, New West Radio Productions, you can do that by going to patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. Patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. $2 a month, folks. That's all. Unless you want to do more, that's fine too. But $2, that's it. If I get 10 people, I can keep the lights on around here. Okay. So, but anyway, I need more to keep the lights on, folks. I'm telling you right now, I just need more contributors to help get the word out, help me sustain this network, and continue to do what I can for the United States of America and for the people of the United States of America, and to inform the world exactly what is happening, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS, and revealing who's behind the curtain, pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. I want to continue to do that. So if you are so inclined to support American Liberty Radio Network, please consider it. Go to patreon.com/American Liberty Radio, patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. And the link will be in the show notes down below on the Spreaker side of things. So, and if you want, you can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, check it out, and go from there. So, I don't know, folks. I mean, there's so, oh, God. I'll be back tomorrow to talk more about what's happening in our world on American Liberty Radio Podcast. So if you are so inclined to want to listen tomorrow, please do. I shall be here. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com or American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. And I'll talk to you guys later. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.